After match week 4, we have a tight race in both Group A and B for first place. Welcome back to TBN Network. My name is Hayden. I'm in the studio with Diego and Shane today. Sammy is out. He will be joining us after the quarterfinals conclude. But today, let's go and recap week 4 with 3 phenomenal games. Some real nail biters and some good storylines clash. Battle of the Brothers there on Saturday was
intense week.
It was great.
Oh, no,
but
100%.
Kicking off, we had Tropico City, Club Shiesty.
Yeah.
2 teams, some of the lowest goals against average in the league. Going into it, Lawrence had 16 goals on the season. Aiden only 12. So you're looking at it. They're even defensively, but Shiesties have that offensive advantage. What do you think? What do you think went wrong here? You know, Diego, why don't you kick us off? Why do you think it was only a 2-2 tie? And especially the way it was 2-2 going into the half and a silent second. That was really unorthodox, at least from the Shiesties. We saw that in the opening game from Tropicos, but
yeah, I think honestly it turned from the start. As soon as Club Shiesty scored on themselves, they were in a whole new ballgame that they've never been a part of before. One, they never scored on themselves, and usually they're not down in the first 10 seconds of the game. So it was a complete switch up for them, and I feel like they didn't really know how to answer. And after they got the second goal, they just didn't really have much to respond and give to the game. And on the other side, like you said, Tropico City is the best defense in the league, so that might have been a huge factor in the game. But even they couldn't get much of their goal. I don't know. It was just a real slow-paced game for the second half, and I don't know. It was just really defense pushed the game.
100%.
What do you think?
100%. And going into this game, we talked about, I guess, Lawrence's how he's established himself as one of the top-tier scorers in this league.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't expect it with the game that he had against Tropico City. It was 2-2 after the half, and then after that, no team really put up anything.
Yeah.
Didn't really put up a fight. Didn't look
no
like
goals scored in the second half is so out of this world.
Exactly.
When you think of these two teams, you think, all right, this one is either going to be scored heavy in the first half and the second half, maybe not, or vice versa. It's like, all right, they didn't score in the first half, the second half they're coming out scoring.
Exactly. What was supposed to be our top offense against our top defense ended up being 2 just very solid defenses, just kind of battling back and forth. Not really scoring the goal at all, scoring the ball at any point in the game, but just establishing yourself on defense, and they showed that they were both able to do that throughout the game. And might go into playoffs. That might be a scary sight to see.
Yeah.
agreed. So
What do you think about these? I mean, these teams came in as heavy favorites in the entire league. So 2 favorites going up against each other, obviously somebody's going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in soccer, guess not.
I mean, looking back, we had predicted the games last week. I had only predicted a tie for Cujos and Cujos. I think that this would have actually been a viable one looking back. Now that obviously we know it was a tie.
Yeah.
But saying like what you said, you have the best offense going up against the best defense. Why wouldn't the outcome be a perfect draw?
Yeah.
It is kind of weird.
But at least maybe a 4-3 score, half. You know what I mean? Because you score 7, game's over. But I mean, these clubs both put up 2 in the first half.
Exactly,
It's
and that was it.
I think that's why
they were okay with
They
that.
say defense wins championships, baby.
That's 1,000% the truth.
What would you say, Diego, in that second game on Friday, Faith Cujos, they had an early 1-0 lead again. Something that they get quite often in this league, and just were unable to build on it. 2-2 tie going into the half. Cujos come out, finish the game, 7-4 finish. Hayden had 1 own goal, a foul, which was a red card. And Shane only able to get 3 goals in that 7-4 finish. What do you think went wrong there for him? He had that early lead, and
Yeah.
it's usually a crucial thing.
Yeah. Maybe just the quick response. That game, it was a quick back to back. You know what I mean? It was both sides doing a very good job of getting it in the offensive zone. But then, once the second half started and Cujos got the lead and then they scored again, I don't know, maybe just the mentality kind of slipped away that they had in the first half, where they were competing with one of the great teams in the league. That's just not showing it really this year. But I don't know. I feel like the second half, they didn't come out with the same energy that they came out to start the game. They jumped out and scored first. I said next time when they get the lead and then they go into the half at a tie, try to keep that same drive to score first while you go into the second half.
100%. And I think for any player, getting that opening goal always boosts your sense of confidence going into the game.
Oh, definitely.
Going to the rest of the game. But as soon as the opposing team strikes back just as fast as you did, it kind of levels it out a little bit. So you're not as confident as you were, but you're still a little bit there. But it was surprising he was able to turn this to a victory with the red card and having an own goal to himself. You know what I mean? But
the own goal and red card both came late in the game. But agreed, when you have a red card and you lose the coin flip, especially,
exactly, it's crucial in any
should
situation.
be able to give up a few more goals.
But honestly, I think that's also a testament to his goal scoring ability. It was 2-2 at halftime, and he was able to rack off 5 in the closing minutes. So I think that shows.
Able to rack 6.
6 if we're really counting the own goal. But yeah, 6 goals he was able to rack off in the second half, and that's just kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
6 goals and a half, 5 goals and a half. But,
5 goals for.
But yeah, but even so, I mean, you can tell going to playoffs he's going to be a real force on the offensive end, and he's showing that in these last few weeks.
1,000%. Showing the offense is something that you don't want to fuck with because they could get hot, and once they get hot, they'll just put the game out.
Back.
And
Exactly.
this team is if they get hot, that time limit just goes out the window. The game's going to be over before the time limit.
But we've also seen teams who have gotten hot on the offensive end also kind of, in a sense, abandon their defensive tactics as a whole.
Yeah.
And do you think that will be the case for Cujos United going to the playoffs? Or?
Well, for their sake, I hope not, because they're a great offensive team. But
I will say they have the most fouls right now, although they are leading the league in goals at the moment, 17. Second is Sammy and Lawrence tied at 16, and then Diego right behind 15. But they do have 5 fouls. So,
yeah, I mean they're a
lot of red cards.
heavy-paced team, So with a lot of harder shots, you know what I mean. You kind of risk a ball flying off the board every once in a while. You know what I mean. So a team that plays with high energy, sometimes they don't really care about getting a penalty because I'll get it back later. And 100%. They've seen it. You know what I mean. They took a red card, they lost one of the guys, and they came through still with the win. So
and when you're able to rack off goals at that rate, it's kind of heavily in your favor in any scenario. You know what I mean?
On Saturday's matchup, though, Battle of the Brothers, that classic,
great game,
right there.
Nail biter.
That was definitely a great game. Shane, tell us, why do you think the younger brother Antonio was able to get that early lead and then just never look back?
It's just the drive of being a younger brother, just always kind of just being in that shadow, or just feeling like you're in that shadow, and just always wanting to, clap back. From all the years of bullying, whatever it may be.
Beat up a little bit.
Noogies, all the years of noogies, everything, all that. Is going to the game, getting that win against an older brother, or an older sibling, for that matter, you're going to boast no matter what. It's always a good feeling, and you're always going to feel good. Even if you could rub it in their face a little bit, it's going to, at the end of the day, a win's a win. It's going to feel good no matter what. And
Diego, do you think BC Pimentas let them win?
No, I think they won that game. And, they won that one. The second half, BC tried to make a comeback, but their fight wasn't strong enough. The younger team had the higher pace energy, and not to say the older brother is that much older. He's not old at all.
Yeah.
But the young firecracker, he came out ready, and he wants to prove something on a day that's really meaningful for both of them. So, I think the best team won that game, and I think Real MC was the better team that day.
100%. It was definitely a great game.
Especially with the red card.
Despite the first half being 2-0, at the end of it, Pimentas was able to rack off 3.
Literally get to the doorstep.
Exactly.
Seconds left, just trying to get him to hurry up.
Exactly.
That was awesome. That was hilarious.
But at the end of it, Ray LMC was only able to get 1 more. But honestly, I think down the road, if they were to meet again, it's going to be a bit more exciting matchup, especially in the playoffs.
And I will say,
that would have to be a finals matchup.
if you
so.
see BC from
That'd
that
be great.
in that scenario again, you will see them take that time because you do get that last shot of the game, and that kind of slipped his mind for a second. So he was kind of rushing, it's just a little.
You never know what could happen to those final shots.
Yeah.
Agreed. And then looking at the ladders right now, like I said, we have such a tight race going in to these playoffs. Into the last week of the group stage before these playoffs, I should say. Real MC in first in Group A, 3-1-0 with 9 points, and then only a point behind them, Club Shiesty, 2-0-2 with 8 points, and then over in Group B, you've got Tropico City, 2-1-1, 7 points. BC Fumetas, 2-2-0 with 6 points. I mean, both groups, you got the same dilemma. Just second place team, a point behind. Just takes a win and either a draw or a loss to have a bye in that first round.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to come out with that? Diego, start us off. Who do you think is coming out with a bye in each group?
Oh, this is a tough one. I think things could shift around in both sides, but the way that this Tropico City defense is looking, I see them sticking strong in that Group B and closing out the season in there. I think they'll get the first playoff round bye after a final week win. That's just my prediction for their final week. Just off of this last game, playing a team like Club Shiesty and not really giving up goals that much. Like, for the last week, I don't see them doing anything worse than this. You know what I mean? So I think I got Tropico City going out of Group B. But out of Group A, I don't know. That's a close one because all it takes is a draw from Real MC and a win from Club Shiesty, and it's
flipped the other way.
Yeah. So I don't know this one.
Not to mention if it's another draw and we have a true tie,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a real nail bite.
Ooh, yeah.
100%.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna go a little bit on a safer route. I'm gonna stick with the way that Group A looks. I'm gonna go Real MC, Shiesty, and then Cujos United to round out that one. Just because if either team ties, you know what I mean, then I don't know. I see at least one of these teams getting the win in their final week.
100%. I honestly agree with that statement as a whole. Tropico City, they've held that 2-3 GAA throughout the season, and that's kind of been fucking absurd. And every week we come and talk about it, it just gets more mind-boggling every time. So that alone, we talked about it in plenty of scenarios. Defense wins championships, and I think he's on a great path to do just that. Coming out of Group A, I like to see Real MC come out of the regular season with a bye, just because they've been a driving force pretty much all season on the offensive end, and just the way the leaderboards are looking, that's how I think it's going to go.
I mean, they're our only club right now with 3 wins. So.
Exactly. And those 2 draws you saw for Club Shiesty, you saw how they affected him.
Oh, yeah.
Or what happened in the games that affected him, and he was able to get those draws. Honestly, not able to get those wins, but we saw where he was impacted.
Be sure to check Match Week 5, which is going on right now, and be sure to leave a comment on any Tribunal Liga video. You can comment on this video or any of the games in order to enter our free giveaway. You'll be able to win a mini award yourself and a few mystery items as well. Thank you for watching. Check out our next video. My name is Hayden. On behalf of Diego, Shane, and the rest of the crew.